أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Welcome to another episode of the Monthly Mindful Moments by ICNA Sisters. Today the topic is about the prophetic way of uplifting the youth. Now let me ask you a few questions. Have you ever thought why the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was so successful in attracting the young generation to his cause? How did he ﷺ develop such a strong connection with the youth? And if he would converse with the youth today, what sort of advice would he give them? What would he tell their elders? Of course, we have no real way of knowing, but we can make assumptions based on what we do know from the authentic traditions. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was able to see the big picture, and his goal was to generate a multitude of young people that were righteous, generous, and pious. We see throughout his noble life, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ emphasized the significance of the youth. A large number of his followers were in fact young people in their teens and 20s. He advised his followers to make use of their time before it's too late. That means make use of health and energy in the young age to earn the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He ﷺ was a genius in his dealings with the youth. Love and compassion, empathy and understanding were the underlying factors behind his relationship with them. He nourished the youth, instructed them, advised them, and developed them. He knew very well the greatness and potential of the youth. And for this reason, he was extremely keen on always engaging and empowering them. Now, first and foremost, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ treated the young people as if they had something special to offer the community. He utilized their skills, encouraged them, and shared with them a high vision. He informed them and us that on the Day of Judgment, only 7 groups of people will find relief in the shade provided by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And one group is the young people who are raised worshipping Allah. We know too that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ gave many young people jobs their elders thought involved more responsibility than they were capable of handling. They were never pushed aside or made to feel useless or unwanted or bad-mannered. Instead, they were given crucial responsibilities vital to the spreading of message of Islam. He encouraged youth to use their talents and develop their skills to serve the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now take the example of Zaid bin Thabit radiallahu anh. He was hardly 13 years old when he came to seek permission from the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ to attend the Battle of Badr. And of course he was not granted permission to join the Muslim army as he was too young at that time. The Prophet ﷺ realized that Zaid radiallahu anh had a sharp intellect and a thirst for knowledge. So he empowered him through scholarship. He instructed Zaid to learn Hebrew and shortly after the Syriac language. And then he eventually became the interpreter and scribe for the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Now this case presents to us some very valuable lessons. The Prophet ﷺ's methodology in identifying the skills of Zaid radiallahu anh, and then empowering him with that was one of the key reasons behind his success. The Prophet ﷺ invested in the youth, placed his trust in them. He did not hesitate in assigning them pivotal roles despite their age. And this provided the youth with a feeling of belonging to the community. The youth felt special because the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ entrusted them with serious responsibilities. It is imperative for us now to pinpoint the young talents around us within our communities and put them to work in order to bring about positive change. We should be looking at ways to empower our youth and ways to embrace their eagerness and ideals. We must delegate significant roles to the youth and place confidence in them. It will generate fresh new leaders who are capable of handling new challenges in this ever-changing world. In our communities, for example, we can let the young Muslims, the YM brothers and sisters, help in arranging Y Islam Dawa booths, or organizing and leading ICNA relief collection and distribution drives. They can be encouraged to peer mentor refugee children so that they can be successful in the local educational system. Multi-generational activities and events should be planned in communities. For example, have team sport competitions where the teams are comprised of members from different age brackets. And of course, the planning committees should have members from the younger as well as senior members of the community. Youth can also be mentored in arranging family recreational events like hikes, picnics, barbecues, bonfires. These will help in creating bonds of respect and understanding across generations. The Prophet ﷺ developed the youth around him emotionally and spiritually. Based off the narrations in Sunnah, we can easily say that the Prophet ﷺ would almost certainly advise us to encourage our young people today in their righteous endeavors, and that to take their opinions and advice seriously. He ﷺ demonstrated to the world the incredible heights that could be reached with young people marching in the front lines. The beautiful stories and examples from Sirah are just as meaningful in this day and age as it was centuries ago. We have to place trust in our children that they will cultivate this beautiful gift of their deen with guidance and dua for them to stay on the straight path and become a guiding light for the Muslim Ummah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you for tuning in to the YouTube channel of ICNA Sisters.